Okay, so in today's video, I've made a new track here. Called it Cinematic Synthwave. Not sure if that's the correct label for it. I'll give you my thought behind it. Recently, I was at the cinema there watching the new Thor Ragnarok film, and obviously you can tell from the artwork and stuff, very synthwave, but very sort of retro sort orientated. And they tried to incorporate that in some of the music in the actual film as well. But they didn't go all out synthwave, so they didn't go like all out Blade Runner style. What they did is they seemed to still keep the same sort of cinematic sort of Hans Zimmer sort of sounds in there, but then they had a synthwave twist where you could hear synths and stuff playing in the backgrounds and whatnot. So I thought that make I thought if you could sort of maybe try to recreate something like that, it would be sort of very unique. So I'm not sure if cinematic synthwave is the right sort of term for it, but so you can understand where I'm sort of coming from. So what I've got here, I've got a track that I've made. Try to keep it very sort of Hans Zimmer style, very sort of dramatic sounding, and big hits and plenty of little noises. And then I've sort of incorporated a little bit of synthwave into that. What I'll do, I'll give you a quick playthrough of it, and then I'm going to what I've actually done on the actual track itself. So here we go. Okay, so there's a quick playthrough of the actual track itself. So what makes up this track? There's a couple of different things. You've got the basic synthwave part of it. I've kept it very, very basic. I could have added more in if I wanted, but I've just for the sake of this video, I've made it kept it very basic. So this track relies heavily on little sounds and little fillers and stuff playing in the backgrounds and panning and reverb and stuff like that to give it the sort of cinematic feel to it. So I'll just quickly run through first of all the synthwave sort of part of it. So we obviously got the kick. Nothing at all on the kick. Then we have this little loop. Nothing on the loop as well. Then we have a hi-hat, which is again very, very basic. Then we have the snare. Again, there's nothing on there at all. The bass is Spire. And we just have a kickstart on there to sidechain it. And the bass is just playing two simple notes, F and D. And then in the we have a little drop down part here. Plays F, G, G. Very, very basic. Then we have the ARP sound, which goes on quite throughout the track here. We have it filtering quite a lot as well. There's nothing on here. This is just Serum. And this just plays, again, very, very simple pattern. And then again here in this part. Very, very simple indeed. Then we have this second sort of riff, which is a Fire. This is taken from... It's taken to Road to Arcadia Diamond Series, which is available over on Patch Bay. You can go over and grab yourself a copy of that now. This is routed to 12 and it has nothing on it. So again, very, very basic. We also have this high string. Again, there's a bit of EQ on this, just cutting out the sort of low ends of it there. So that's basically it for the synths. We have one more sort of synth here, which is playing it's like a dubstep sound. And this is just to give it some atmosphere as it's building up. So that's basically all the synths and stuff. So then we'll go into sort of this part. This is the sort of synthwave cinematic section. So first of all, we have this sort of Hans Zimmer hit. This is available from the Keshmar Sound Bank, which I think is available on Splice. Nothing on there. I've copied it across here. It also plays when the harpist does playing. It goes to 15 and it's just cut the low end out of it because it is very, very basic. And what I've done here, that basically means we can play it over the top of the harp. And then here, I've just basically cut it down, and towards the end of it, I've just cut it So I'll show you how I've actually done that. So what I've done, I've gone over here to this. I've changed this to half a step. Back to the cut tool. I've just cut every line there is. Deleted this, deleted this. Use sort of this sound when it's playing. Which, when you play it together with the rest of the stuff, it actually sounds pretty good. Okay, so that's one sound we have. That's the main sort of horn sound in there. We've also got this little sound here. Now I actually have two of these. Got one panning slightly right at left, one panning slightly right. This goes to 11, so we've got a Valhalla Room reverb on there. We've got the ping pong delay, just the delay, then to ping pong. Then an EQ to cut off a lot of the highs because it is very sort of sharp. I just wanted it dull and in the background. And then we've also got this reverse sort of sound, synth sound, which repeats right throughout. Then we have this tonal sort of hit as well. And then we have this sort of ambient sound underneath. And then we just have a little tiny bit of effects in the mix as well. So first of all, we have this sort of medium riser. Then we have this short riser. Then we have just a crash towards the end. And this again using the ping pong delay, and we change the time to the 4th dot along. What I've also done is change this as well, so the feedback goes on for longer, and just took the wet down a little bit, so it's not coming through. Then we have this sort of drop section here when we have these playing, the kick, and we'll just have the crashes that match. A little snare fill here as well. All it is just the single hits that we've put up and put in there. So that's about it, guys. Very, very basic track, but I'm trying to get the feel of what I'm trying to achieve here. We've listened to the likes of Synthwave now seems to be hitting the mainstream quite a bit, especially with the new Blade Runner film coming out, and then games as well, like the Friday the 13th game. Has a lot of synthwave stuff in it as well. So the retro sort of things coming back, and especially with 4, with the soundtrack to it and the artwork and stuff like that. You know, it is beginning to catch on quite a bit. I hope, like I said, I hope you can sort of figure out what I was trying to achieve in this track here. So if you wanted to try to create something like this, what would you sort of bear in mind? So bearing in mind when you're creating something like this, you would need the dramatic hits, the dramatic sounds. So you can use stuff like these horn sounds. You also need plenty of little hits, little build-ups, and I've used quite a lot of little hits, and I've not just put them in, I've EQ'd them, and with plenty of reverb in there, and plenty of stuff to keep the track sort of moving along. That's how you create sort of the build-up to it as well, and then obviously it just drops into the sort of elements of it. So that's about it, guys, for this video. Thanks for watching.